I believe that one of the most twisted ironies in all of creation is this: life is not fair. Many humans have heard this phrase before and used it, I'm sure. All humans have at one point or another. And it's disgustingly true. Life is not fair. Not everyone enters this reality in the manner they probably wanted. And not everyone is born with a silver spoon in their mouth, which strikes me as an odd metaphor. Some will be born with nothing, while others will be born with more than they need. Mortal ideals of equality are a myth because your definition of equality will get skewed based on your own perception. The poor man born with nothing will see the rich man and assume he was given everything, and that his life is entirely unfair, that the rich man is better than him, and that it's not right. But what the poor man doesn't see is that the rich man lost his wife to cancer, and his child is an overdosing reprobate with a criminal record. That the rich man has no family to visit him, and that he is alone, surrounded by items that only give him temporary pleasures. He looks at the poor man and sees a man who has a family to go home to at the end of the day, and he will think that that is not fair. This is just an example, of course, but you get my point. Mortal perception of fairness and equality is the twisted joke of existence. Preaching justice from rooftops like you have any idea what true justice is. Demanding mercy when you don't even realize that mercy is not something you deserve. By its very nature, you do not deserve mercy. It's given at the whim of the merciful. Don't take what I say to mean that fairness cannot exist, nor that equality is an impossibility. It's very possible. But humanity must first understand that their personal sense of fairness and equality will not match that of another, and that is the irony. The perspective of what is fair will not be fair to another person, and there you have it. The reason true fairness that everyone morally agrees on will never be reached. Now, I don't pretend to have the answers to how to go about these things. I am death, not life, after all. Life and I are two opposites. While life is full of uncertainties, I am the inevitable certainty. While life does not guarantee fairness, I am always fair with the humans I come for. Life perseveres through every obstacle, overcoming and always growing, changing, adding new possibilities through the ages, whereas I have stayed the same since I was created. And perhaps I am being too cynical or too hard on myself. It's something I'm good at, but probably something I should stop. What I mean to say is that I believe if either of us is fair, it would be me. I will not deceive you, nor will I offer anything more or less to humanity than what I have always given. The method by which we meet and the time at which we meet may not be of your choosing, and that itself may not seem fair, but that is not at all my doing. I do not offer second chances, nor do I offer mercy. I treat every soul I encounter the exact same, no matter who they were when they were among the living. Cold? Perhaps, but it's certainly fair. I think the problem humanity faces is that their perception of fair play depends entirely on personal experience and perception. As I said before, one person will view the life of another as unfair because of their own personal circumstances, without knowing anything about the personal circumstances of the person they criticize. And for a moment, propose you could alter your life or theirs to make it fair, or what you perceive to be fair. That you could perhaps magically increase your wealth, your social status, your work environment, or maybe your skills. Would you then be satisfied with your life? Would you then believe that all is right with the world? No. Rather, the more likely outcome is you will find someone else with more than you, and you will crave what they have as well, because that is the true essence of humanity. The essence of envy and greed. Obtaining power only leaves you craving more. None are satisfied with what they have until they recognize that at the end they have nothing, and that they, in the end, deserved nothing. The truly happy man is the man who takes what he has, is grateful for what he's been given, and makes the most of what is. He takes advantage of good fortune when it comes his way, and perseveres through bad fortune. No one promises him success, nor do they promise him fairness. His only promise is a life for him to use until the day I come for him. Now perhaps you think I'm speaking out of my place, or that I'm ignorant. I am not human. I am not mortal. I exist outside of the realm and difficulty that you do. I cannot understand your plight because I have not lived it, and you're certainly not wrong there. I cannot know your struggles. But before you criticize, consider this. I have wandered this world from north to south and east to west. I have seen every rise and fall of every empire in existence. I know the names of nations you've never heard of and will never hear of. I have witnessed the collapse of dynasties and the building of civilizations. I know the nature of mankind, and the nature of mankind will have only one constant: me. Not one human in this world has ever lived a life that was fair. Every person, every nation, and every culture has suffered or bled and prospered at different periods. I do not know your struggles, but I know you are not alone in struggling. All struggle, and if you truly do not understand that, then I do not believe it is I who is ignorant. But despite all of this, I wish to close this entry on one final note. I admire the man who perseveres despite adversity. You see, no human goes through life without an unfair incident, a difficult experience, or a grievous loss. That's the nature of it. No man is handed success every day of their life. There will always be hardship. But the one who endures, smiles through it, betters himself and makes the most of what he has, the man who can still care about his brethren, avoid placing blame on anyone and anything that he believes has wronged him, true or otherwise, the man who can still climb his way out of his adversity, out of his struggle, or at the very least make what he can of them, is the man who, when I finally do meet him, will have earned his peace. Life is unfair, but adversity breeds strength. Life is not always kind, but those who are kind in spite of that are the ones who stand tall. Life does not promise success, but those who are brave enough to strive for it anyway are the ones who will find purpose. You cannot change the world, but you can change yourself. And what you choose to be and how you choose to live will have a large impact on the world. After all, if equality and fairness are mere fantasies, then the first step to making them a reality is to believe that they can exist, and then to apply them in your own life before demanding it of others. If you cannot live by the principles you preach, how can you expect the world to follow suit? But what do I know of such things? As I said, I'm death. I simply write my thoughts in a diary in the hope someone might read them. So take what I say for what it's worth, and whatever you choose to make of it. Sincerely, Death.